From the Xavier University Television Studio, this is Xavier News. Your campus, your region, your world. This is Xavier News.
Even during a controversial election season, Xavier Musketeers embraced civil political discourse on campus this week. Xavier's Political Science Club hosted an inter-club plat forum on Tuesday in the Kennedy Auditorium. Representatives from 3 political clubs on campus collaborated to speak about the policies and platforms of their respective party. Young Americans for Liberty unofficially spoke about the Libertarian Party, and college Republicans and college Democrats did the same for their parties. President of the Poli-Sci Club, Gil Guthrie, moderated the forum alongside the club's advisor, Dr. Mac Mariani. This is the first time all 4 clubs have collaborated on an event like this.
It was nice to hear pertinent questions from Poli-Sci. I thought they did a great job with the questions they asked. It's a big deal in the community. Like right now, it's election week. It's time to go out and vote. I thought it was really amazing that we got everybody involved.
Each club was given time to speak about their party's approach to issues like gun control, climate change, and immigration. Representatives were sure to exercise the opportunity to give a rebuttal after each club had spoken by flashing a green card to the moderators.
When you're old enough to vote, I think one of the hard things is trying to figure out what party, like where you as yourself stand. I think it was a good event to get those platforms out so people could learn what the parties really stand for. It was an interesting battle of wit and ideas, and I feel better having gone through it and sat and just listened.
The floor later opened up to audience members. During this time, students asked representatives about their individual and party stances on topics such as the Dakota Access Pipeline and the Black Lives Matter movement. The event itself stressed the importance of being an informed voter and citizen of the world on such political issues. Reporting for Xavier News, this is Hannah Michaels.
Thanks, Hannah. Xavier will be busing students to polling locations all the way up to Election Day. Remember to get out and rock the vote. Consumerized genetics seems to be all the rage lately. Companies like 23andMe will sequence your genome or parts of it for a price. These data are unique to you, and by looking for certain genetic markers, you can see details about your ancestry and potential disease risks. Genos, a new genetics startup from San Francisco, wants to sequence your genome and then pay you for the sharing and use of your genetic information for research and analytics. These data could then be used for many different genetic studies. However, how many people will opt in remains to be seen.
IBM is partnering with Quest Diagnostics to offer gene sequencing and Watson Diagnostic to cancer patients. IBM executives say that Watson's AI has the potential to make medicine and therapies available to millions of cancer patients who cannot afford treatment at medical centers with genomics expertise. At the University of North Carolina School of Medicine, Watson was tested on 1,000 cancer diagnoses, and in 99% of them, Watson recommended the same treatment as the doctors themselves. In 30% of the cases, Watson also found treatment options the human doctors missed. Some treatments were based on research papers that the doctors had not read, with more than 160,000 cancer research papers published a year.
Suspect in Wednesday's ambush-style killings of 2 Iowa police officers has been taken into custody. Investigators believe Scott Michael Green, 46, shot Urbandale police officer Justin Martin and Des Moines police sergeant Anthony Bemino while they sat in squad vehicles at intersections roughly 2 miles apart shortly after 1 a.m., authorities said. Green was not charged in the killings as of noon, but he is suspected of doing this crime. We will see how Des Moines handles this tragedy moving forward.
U.S. inmates strike in what activists call one of the largest prison protests in modern history. With over 20,000 inmates in over 24 prisons and 23 states, the coordinated effort has lasted over 10-plus days in September and October. Inmates are protesting against the dismal wages, abusive guards, overcrowding, and poor health care. The strikes began on September 9th, timed to the 45th anniversary of the deadliest prison uprising in modern American history, ending in a 5-day standoff in Attica Correctional Facility in upstate New York. Many prisons have declined to comment or have given stories contrary to this story.
Testimony began Wednesday in the trial of Ray Tensing, the University of Cincinnati police officer who is charged with the murder and voluntary manslaughter for the July 2015 fatal shooting of Sam Dubose. After a traffic stop for a missing license plate near UC's campus, Dubose, 43, was shot once in the head. Tensing's attorney has said he feared for his life as DuBose tried to drive away, using his car as a weapon, while prosecutor Joe Dieters says Tensing was lying when he said he was in danger of being dragged to death. If convicted of murder, Tensing faces 15 years to life in prison. He has pleaded not guilty.
Staying on UC's campus, but now moving to the soccer pitch. Cincinnati has announced plans for a major town hall event with Major League Soccer Commissioner Don Garber on November 29th. Atlanta, Miami, Minneapolis, and Los Angeles are all getting new teams in the next couple of years, leaving 4 more cities available to fulfill plans of expansion. Guess what? Cincinnati has made the shortlist. With a ravaged fan base breaking the United Soccer League regular season attendance record not once but twice, Cincinnati soccer fans have put themselves into prime consideration as a candidate. For more information on FC Cincinnati, visit their website or attend a talk with the president and general manager of FC Cincinnati, Xavier alum Jeff Birding, on November 15th in the Kennedy Auditorium.
That's all from the news desk, people.
We'll be right back with Cameron Stansberry and the Xavier Sports Report.
The cameras are back, the bright lights are on, and the expectations have never been higher. Last year's heartbreaking loss to Wisconsin in the NCAA tournament gone. Erased from the memories of Trayvon Blewett, J.P. McCura, and Sean O'Mara, whose collective focus remains coming back stronger and even better this season. The lofty top 10 preseason ranking doesn't mean much either, because at the end of the day, it's about one thing and one thing only for these guys: winning, and winning a lot. When asked about the goals for this team for the upcoming season, Trayvon Blewett replied, "A national championship for sure, without a doubt." Hello and welcome to the Xavier Sports Report. My name is Cameron Stansberry. Thank you all for tuning in. You know, I don't know if it's just me, but things feel a little different around here. The vibe on campus, it's almost reminiscent of a scene I remember from The Wolf of Wall Street when Jordan Belfort, after being monitored by the FBI for money laundering, gives the speech of speeches to his employees of Stratton Oakmont, imploring them not the FBI nor anyone will ever take him off his throne. It's the bottled excitement of the speech and the bottled excitement of the realization that the unofficial beginning to Xavier men's basketball is less than 24 hours away. The team kicks off the season with its first and only exhibition game against Ferris State here at Centos tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. Student tickets may still be available, but if not, you know what to do, Musketeers. Wait outside until tip, because your team is ranked 7th in the country, according to the AP Top 25 poll. And in this season, if all goes according to plan, is bound to be special. The Xavier men's soccer team closed out their regular season campaign at home last night with a crushing defeat to the Butler Bulldogs 2-1. The team finished with an 8-7-3 overall record, but they're not quite done yet. The Big East tournament starts Sunday, and the team is set to take on Creighton in the first round. I caught up with a player this week who not only has a lot of talent, but is determined to get this year's Xavier team back to the NCAA tournament. The unique story of a player who just might be the next big thing in the soccer world. Check it out. Here it is.
Another fantastic fall season here at Xavier has almost passed us by, yet the lights continue to shine brightly for the Xavier men's soccer team, who just 2 nights ago knocked off Big East rival Creighton here at home on a game-winning goal by sophomore Cameron Taylor in double overtime. This team, after coming up just short of an NCAA tournament berth last year, returned 8 starters, but perhaps none of them have been as important to this season as junior defensive back Corey Brown.
It's really interesting if you see Corey on an everyday basis, him master some of the difficult things and some of the things he doesn't get to do in a game. It comes very easy to him. I think that's a joy to watch, but I've really enjoyed watching Corey grow up over the last 2 years. I think he's become a better leader. I think he's become a better teammate. I think he's grown up emotionally. He's a better man and a better son and probably a better human being than he was when he got here.
Brown, a native of Nelson, New Zealand, a city halfway across the world, first stepped foot on Xavier's campus 3 years ago, is arguably the most hyped recruit of the Andy Fleming era. He had moved away from his hometown as a sophomore in high school to play soccer at the prestigious Ole Academy, a prep school that hosts the top soccer talent in all of New Zealand. It was here where Brown got experience playing on the international stage for the first time with the New Zealand men's national team and quickly cemented himself as one of the top recruits in the country.
The game's a bit quicker when you're playing for the national team, so I think over here it just helps me adapt to like teams that are maybe quicker than me or more athletic than me. I'm able to deal with it a bit better.
Corey is one of the few guys who, from the minute he walked in here, was in the starting lineup and put in a very prominent role and really hit the ground running and didn't even flinch his whole freshman year.
Fast forward 3 years later, and the kid with all that talent is about to become the first Big East Defensive Player of the Year in Xavier history. But it's not about the accolades for Brown. It's about his teammates. And most of all, it's about winning.
As long as the team does well, then like we're all going to get recognized in one way or another. And if that means that myself or someone else gets some recognition, then that's how it is. I'm not really too worried about it.
Both highly respected and looked upon as a leader by both his coaches and his teammates, Brown looks to carry this year's Xavier team over the hump and give Coach Fleming his 5th NCAA tournament appearance in the past 7 years. Reporting for Xavier News, this is Cameron Stansbury.
Well, for everybody here at Xavier News, thank you for tuning in. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Thank you for listening. And as we always like to do on this show, let's go X.